people have powerful feelings about the traffic in Los Angeles. It says something that local officials warned motorists about a temporary roadwork closure on the 405 last year by calling it Carmageddon. Angelenos took the hint, and this weekend they're expected to steer clear of the latest 405 closure, named, of course, Carmageddon 2. That's how it is in L.A., a snarl of overstuffed freeways and commuters who keep their cool, except when they don't. KPCC's Stephen Cuevas has this profile of a punk rocker whose music expresses the insanity of L.A. traffic while extolling the virtues of public transit.
Couple of things you need to know about Eddie Solis. He lives in L.A., loves the band Kiss, and does not own a car.
Being someone who's from L.A., born and raised, and, having a few cars in my past, I saw the city much differently, through a different perspective, through the eyes of a bus rider.
Want to just go all the way to the back? Sure.
Line 18, Wilshire, Western Station.
Just steps from the front door of his home, across the street from a tortilla factory in LA's Boyle Heights neighborhood, Solis catches a bus that connects him with the city's subway and the commuter train he catches to his day job at an indie record label in Hollywood.
It just opened me up to little neighborhoods, galleries, clubs, bars, just everything. Just seeing what's out there, little pockets of the city.
Solis's journeys aboard LA buses and subway cars informs a lot of the material on The New Los Angeles Part 1, Through the Eyes of a Bus Rider, the latest release by the singer-guitarist band It's Casual. In Solis's vision of a new Los Angeles, people abandon their cars, climb aboard public transit, and rediscover their communities. One song extols the virtues of the LA County Metropolitan Transit Agency's Easy Pass and the urban underbelly it introduces to the rider.
And that's a nod and homage to, the people who know what you can even go cheaper and really beat the system and really steer away from spending money on gas and oil profits and all that. Is all it takes for me to witness racial tension, for me to witness illegal aliens. It's not to paint a negative picture, it's just my perspective of what is seen.
Off the bus and back on the street, we make our way past a jazz saxophonist playing for pocket change and down a long escalator to catch a train. So, where are we now?
We're at the Red Line station, the Pershing Square station in downtown LA.
And what's our destination?
We're going to go downstairs another tier, and in about 5 minutes we're going to get on the Red Line going northbound.
Okay, let's go.
The Metro Red Line snakes from North Hollywood to downtown Los Angeles. It's the train that inspired It's Casual's signature tune and spawned a viral internet video. It was partly filmed late at night on a moving train as it hurtles from station to station. Solis thrashes away on his guitar and barks the lyrics, which celebrate the Red Line and call out the congested freeways that coil around Los Angeles.
Este es un tren del Metro Red Line a North Hollywood.
The 210, the 605, the freeways are not so nice. The I-5, the 210, the freeways are not so nice.
The thread that comes out of the record that ties everyone together is just be alive, don't be a victim of having a car.
An MTA spokesman said he couldn't comment on Eddie Solis's furious pro-Metro message, but the Red Line video was a hit at the offices of Move LA.
Eddie's done a good job. Thank you, Eddie.
It's the public transportation advocacy group headed by former Santa Monica Mayor Denny Zane. He liked the juxtaposition of Solis blissfully riding LA public transit in one scene with scenes of the band raging against those notorious freeway jams.
Eddie is all frantic when he talks about highways and so mellow when he's grooving on a skateboard and on the bus and on the Red Line. There's a metaphor for the transformation, from the, oh my God, I just got to get out of the traffic, to hey, this is cool. I can mellow out.
Or you can blast a tune like Too Many People as you claw your way across Los Angeles by car, bus, or skateboard.
Los Angeles, there's too many people. I want them to go away, even though it means they're so free.
Too Many People could also be a motto for It's Casual. Over the years, the band whittled itself down to a power duo of Solis and a rotating cast of drummers. So you may think the burly, bearded punk rocker just can't get along with freeways, with people, or his native L.A. Not true.
I love it. I love everything about it. I've traveled throughout the U.S. many times, and I could never look forward enough to coming back. The weather, the different cultures, the landscape. I was just like, you know what? Now I know everyone moves to L.A.
Solis will bring the love and the volume during a Red Line mini tour next month. It's Casual will play a different venue within walking distance of several Red Line metro stops from Union Station to West Hollywood. For the California Report, I'm Stephen Cuevas.
The California Report, a production of KQED Public Radio in San Francisco. Our director this week is Nina Thorson. Sil Muller is our technical producer. We had additional engineering from Danny Bringer and Howard Gelman. Thanks to Hank Hadley at KCBX. Our online team includes Lisa Pickoff-White, David Marks, and Don Clyde. Our interns are Catherine Borgeson and Rachel Johnson. Tyke Hendricks is our elections editor with production help from Tina Lauerberg. We had editing support from Paul Rogers. Victoria Malione is our associate senior producer. Ingrid Becker is our senior producer. The news director is Bruce Kuhn. I'm Rachel Myro. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend. This is the California Report.
Funds for the California Report are provided by the James Irvine Foundation, expanding opportunity for the people of California and supporting the California Report since its premiere in 1995. And the California Endowment. Health happens in schools at calendow.org. And Chevron, investing in renewables, strengthening communities, and creating jobs. More information at chevron.com.
The 210, the 605, the freeways are not so nice. The I-5, the 210, the freeways are not so nice. The 101, the 405, the freeways are not so nice. The I-5, the I-10, the freeways are not so nice. The 210, the 605, the freeways are not so nice. I-5, the I-10, the freeways are not so nice. The red line, 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 the red line. The 210, the 605, the freeways are not so nice. The I-5, the I-10, the freeways are not so nice. The 101, the 405, the freeways are not so nice. The 605, the 101, the 101, the 101, the I-10, the 210, the 605, the 101, the 405, the I-10, the freeways are not so nice. The red line, 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 the red line.
Welcome to Los Angeles NISA episode 127. I am the show creator, producer, and host, Eddie Solis. And today is a Boyle Heights episode. We're going to feature a woman who is very in touch with the cosmos and universe and many other things. Her name is Olivia Perez Vieira. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you're with a company called OPB Consulting. We're going to talk about the components and services that you provide. And the reason why I say a Pueblo Heights episode, because every episode we touch on a geographic area and a destination. That destination is where OPB practices out of, the Spot.
Yes, the Spot Gallery.
The Spot Gallery is where you provide services for people. And you also do a lot of pop-up events, though, where you go and deal with oils and healing, et cetera. But we'll get into that. What I want to know is how you fell or chose a pathway to come into an unconventional way of healing and health and wellness, because you have a nice academia background. Now, you're born and raised in Los Angeles.
I was born in Los Angeles, raised in the Bay Area.
Bay Area, yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about what you did after high school. After high school, can I tell you about during? Because it was a very significant change. Okay, yeah, tell me.
During high school, I was involved in a organization here in Los Angeles called NCCJ, and they're no longer existing in Los Angeles. But what they did was open up my eyes. I had a lot of mentors through there: Alicia Brooks, Jill Aguilar, Lori Nelson, and it opened up my eyes to the bigger picture, the bigger world, I guess, of classism, racism, homophobia, anti-Semitism, and it gave me a voice, I think, for what I felt in my heart and my soul, that we're all one people, and that all these things just kind of divide us.
Yeah.
And so during high school, exploring these subjects with my mother and my father, who were very liberal, hippie types, I guess. My mom worked with UFW for many years, and my father's way beyond his time still.
Head of the curve, right?
Exactly.
Very good.
Digging the curve. And they gave me the freedom to say, you know what? I believe in the earth. I believe in our connection, our spiritual roots being really from there. And I walked away from organized religion and organized thinking, the group mind, if you will.
Tell me when you stopped going to church. I mean, you're brought up Chicana.
Yes.
Going to Catholic church.
Yes, Chicana.
At an early age, you know that your church wasn't for you.
Yes. And I can't tell you exactly what date that was. I remember sitting in church thinking, I hear a voice, but I don't need to be here to hear it. The voice of the universe or of my soul, or what people call God. And I gave myself the freedom to think outside of that box. And my parents allowed that. They weren't super strict, but we still went to church. Somewhere along the line, I don't know what age, Eddie, to be honest with you, but I just started kind of, like my dad in a sense, digging the curve amongst my peers, I feel like. And then in college, I decided to go to FIDM. My grandfather was a big proponent of college, and you need to go somewhere, and I heard that all my life. And so I decided FIDM was good, because by the time I was 16, I had a career with Estee Lauder doing makeup. I was a freelance. Did Clinique, prescriptives. I even crossed over to Shiseido. I did a lot of training with professional makeup artists, and I had this career path set in front of me. I could have been a manager of a brand new Origins. I had everything going, and came to LA to finish my degree, my AA at FIDM Cosmetics Merchandising, and I did. It was a great school. I loved it, but I just knew that I couldn't be doing that. I couldn't be doing that the rest of my life. It was too much politics, I guess, playing around with egos.
Yeah, yeah.
That I didn't want to do. So I had a friend who, Andrea, her mother worked for Jackie Goldberg, who was a city council person, a very well-loved city council woman. Yes, Silver Lake. And she was running for state assembly at the time. So she offered me a position as a volunteer coordinator.
This was late 90s, right?
Yeah, and I had experience with NCCJ as a facilitator, a peer facilitator, because I went along with them and went back year after year to the Brotherhood Sisterhood camp to guide other youth through this process of exploring the world as one. And she got me this job. It was great paying, and I did politics for a couple of years. I worked on Art Goldberg's campaign for
her brother.
Yeah, Jackie Goldberg has a brother, Art Goldberg. He's well known for the Law Center. The name is escaping me. He has a People's Law Center in Echo Park. It's been there for years, doing a lot of work with low-income people. And
is that where they give the free consulting and representation?
They definitely work with people. I don't know exactly what they're doing now. I think he's retired from there. He does special things with them. But he was gracious enough to give me the position at the time of campaign manager for city council.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 21 years old, living downtown LA and working as a campaign manager. It was my first management gig at that scale. It was huge. And I got a lot under my belt, and a lot of sadness came into me because, well, I had all this anger and this rage and this desire to change the world through supporting people I believed in, like Jackie and Art, and I still believe in them. However, the game of politics was just so vivid from that position, and working with political consultants, and it became very obvious that I had been miffed. Is that a word?
Yeah. M-I-F-F-E-D?
Yes.
Miffed? Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, and I got really sick after the campaign was over. He lost to Eric Garcetti, who's now the mayor of Los Angeles.
Sure.
I got really sick after the campaign, and I reached out to a very good friend of mine, Georgia Ann Muldrow. She's a producer and artist of music. Her label is Some Other Ship Records. She's a very good friend of mine, and she gave her stepfather a word, and who gave somebody else a word, and I ended up working with a man named Stephen Lewis, who is a frequency doctor, if you will, a metaphysicist, if you will, also at one time a medical doctor, and he's done all the certifications.
So his goal is to excel your frequency, bring it up.
Exactly. He's under the belief that we're all with a very low life force. He's under that belief that if you don't get on his program, your life force will be very low the rest of your life. And we worked together for 3 years, and I was his assistant. He used my thumb or my energy meridian every single day to measure people's frequencies, their life force levels. And out of 100, most people come out 2, 3, sometimes 10, according to his scale. This is all software, so it's all on a contingency.
Sure.
Anyway, I learned a lot, and I moved on, worked with Gary Strauss and Life Energy Institute for 5 years, and Marina Benvanga and her DNA Institute, and different healers, and even dentists, across the board, people who were building their business and needed some administrative help at the same time. I was learning a lot about the literally hundreds, if not thousands, of modalities for healing, because healing for me is a huge spectrum, and everywhere I went, light was filling that spectrum, color was filling that spectrum, and all of that process created OPB Consulting. What really motivated OPB Consulting to get established was the fact that Mr. Lewis, Dr. Lewis's company would only hire me at will, contract, right? So that put me an independent consultant.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly getting...
You weren't an employee, you were a 1099 independent contractor.
Exactly.
So you're like, well, I'm not even working for them officially. I'm doing it with my knowledge and my motivation and drive, providing a service, so just do it for myself.
I had to change my thinking at the time from serving an employer to serving my career.
Yeah, and your quality of life.
Absolutely, because how we think definitely manifests into our quality of life.
We are what we think. Words are spells, and we are our thoughts.
Ooh, nice one, yeah.
That's how I roll. That's what I believe. And so I wanted to commend you, but also make a statement at the same time, because you have been very proactive in bringing your services to the East Side. Now, let me articulate and speak in a way where people understand where I'm going with this. Unconventional beliefs that build off a platform that consists of health and wellness, abundant, and the law of attraction. It all comes from, reaching out and finding the literature and then following those ideals and practicing them. It's meditation, it's yoga, it's oils, it's self-belief, right? You got to have drive for all of that, but also acknowledging that I believe there's a source of the universe and you tap into it. Everything's already out there and you grab what's there. Mm-hmm. Whether it's, I want to say, chants, the oils, everything. Crystals, the
rainbows.
The raindrop nerve
raindrop
techniques, to serve the nervous system. All those things are components to reaching a higher consciousness. And a lot of this is like thriving on the West Side, and it has been the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. Now, you do pop-up events where you will actually do a pop-up event where it's not a party, but it's a place for people to go and try this water that is, made of sacred geometry and try a healing process. And that's kind of unconventional where you're taking it. You're doing a lot of this on the east side at Los Angeles County, and you're a female.
Yes.
You're a business owner at the forefront of a unconventional way of doing things that is dominated on the West Side, and you're bringing it to an area that doesn't know this kind of practice.
Right. In the scope of Los Angeles, there's a lot of yogis, I guess, if you call them that, somebody who does yoga on the West Side. And yeah, there's a lot of obesity and cancer and things going on the East Side that need to be addressed not only by the individual but by the public, because the soil is toxic in Boyle Heights, but I'm still there and you're still there, and we're not leaving and running away from lead-filled soil. And that's kind of like the way in which I think and live. We've got to cut through the veil or the convention with the biggest machete we have. And if you think about it from a violent perspective, but more like these are my weapons, and the word is our weapon, and our actions need to be in alignment with our words and our thoughts for happiness. I mean, that's a sort of a Buddhist perspective, but it's very true.
Be godlike.
Yes, and a lot of people who live on the East Side, they're ready for health. They're ready for health because they understand that their health is their wealth. They're not worried about how cool it is or how great they look in their yoga pants. It's not about that.
I think it's like your health is your wealth is a priceless analogy, because if someone acts on those words and prioritizes that, they're going to wake up feeling great. That's going to lead to them loving themselves and conveying, the love and compassion to friends and family, and creating a better home life and probably better habits, cutting out the McDonald's and the snacks on the corner liquor store, to juicing with fruits and vegetables, to growing your own stuff through a garden. And having a garden could act as a hub for your time with your children.
Yes.
There's just so many positives out of every little morsel.
Yes.
That's out there.
And the pop-up events and the people that put these events on and come to them and vent at them are thinking collectively like that.
Right.
And they have the same passion for our roots, the spiritual roots, also indigenous roots, that exist for a lot of people on the East Side that have been here I'm third generation Chicana. My grandmother was born in Compton. My other grandma was born in Pico Rivera. Mm-hmm. So my roots are here,
Los Angeles.
Yeah. And so there's that sentiment from not only myself, but the people who are putting on these events and attending them. And we want to support each other collectively. We want to purchase from each other. We want to share recipes with each other. We want to help each other heal in ways that maybe another one of us hadn't thought of. And so there's that camaraderie, and I don't want to diss the West Side
At all.
Right, not at all.
It's a great area.
Exactly, but there's a need here that needs to be addressed.
It's so funny because as a Angelino born and raised, I do believe that, the consciousness on the east side is very archaic, meaning there's not a lot of reaching out to look for better living and health and wellness. And that's where you come in, because you're showing these people, hey, this is a way to live, and it's going to elevate everything about your life. Also, I'm coming to you. I'm doing pop-up events. So you're kind of leading this crusade on the east side of bringing that kind of lifestyle of health and wellness and belief, and live food and oils and meditation and all these great things that lead to better quality of life.
Yes.
And not only that, but better quality of life will lead to better performance, I believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the main goal here with this interview, and that's what I want to pull out of you next, are the components that go into getting yourself from a healthy mental standpoint to a healthy emotional standpoint and physically healthy, which leads to higher conscious.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the services you offer that will help reach higher consciousness?
Well, it all starts with the physical. Cleansing the body temple is a huge part of evolving. And that means what we mentioned, raindrop technique. It's one of the first things I do with folks. It's a process of using 9 therapeutic grade essential oils that are all antibacterial, antiviral, antispasmodic, and so on and so forth, circulatory. What they do is they clean the nervous system, which can be full of debris and dormant viruses. People wonder what a curve in their spine is about, and it's really clogged up nerve endings. So I apply the oils to the spine and the feet in order to, wash out and dissolve, really, those dormant viruses. It was originally created for people with scoliosis.
Wow.
Yeah, and it actually works very well with scoliosis cases. But it is a huge immune booster, and it gets rid of a lot of back pain. And you just feel lighter, oxygenated. It's one of the best treatments in the world. Spa Magazine had it in their top 10. So it's well known. It's charged at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. They charge $225
for a raindrop, a nerve-ending cleanse.
Yes, and I don't charge that much.
So let me ask you, what oils do you want to say what you use?
Yeah, we use oregano, thyme, basil, cypress, wintergreen oil, marjoram. I use a blend called Aromaseas, which has lavender, marjoram. I use peppermint oil, which is just driver, and an amazing blend called Valor oil that does a lot of, they call it chiropractor in a bottle.
Wow.
It really helps the structure, balancing the right and left sides of the body. So cleansing the body, detoxing, it's a nervous system detox, and the wires of our body is the nervous system. So it's a very important step. And even if you're not in back pain, even if you're not toxic, getting this treatment on a weekly, monthly basis will repair DNA. It'll help detox, or I would say renew emotional trauma. Not renew it, but let it go. A mentor of mine, Pat Brown, she told me about how she had this one client of hers who got this treatment every week for years. And this woman is somebody who I consider very high vibrational. She's got a really successful healing arts business around the globe. Her name is Salacia. She's got the Council of 12. She's this amazing person. I shouldn't be saying that, though, telling her business. But anyway, doing this treatment over and over and over again is phenomenal for evolution of the body. And it's one of many, and I find it the most physical that I do, and I expand from there through cranial sacral unwinding, which was taught to me by Gary Strauss, who has an amazing amazing curriculum for cranial sacral therapy.
Really quick, let's back up on the oils that you use for the raindrop technique. Which ones actually heal viruses?
Oregano and thyme will kill or eat up, we should say. I can't say heal, or it'll eat it up. The FDA is very picky about what we say.
Wow.
But it literally digests the virus. And these oils are strong. Peppermint oil will eat through
What are some of the
plastic.
viruses that they've actually digested? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head, there are multiple, but thyme and oregano, probably 98% of what's out there.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't want me to list that.
Right.
The combination of oregano, thyme, clove, rosemary, lemon, and eucalyptus will kill 100% of superbugs and weaker bugs.
Superbugs.
Yeah, when we combine oils, we've got amazing results. And I say we, as in everybody who's using therapeutic grade essential oils, primarily through the brand Young Living, because the founder, Gary Young, has done amazing research and worked with universities, and outside parties have done their own research. And when you have an organic, 100% organic, natural, unadulterated oil, miracles occur. The Egyptians knew this. The Mayans knew this. But we've got an aromatherapy sort of umbrella that is really connected to the perfume industry because of the way the standards were written, in the 1800s. So again, it's miseducation, and we're dealing with a lot of adulterated oils out there. So that's why I stick with this one particular brand, because it works. It works. You can feel the oil in your body when you smell it, versus another oil you inhale and it kind of gets stuck in your sinus. So we want the oil to go exactly where the problem is, and therapeutic grade, oils do that. These are high enough grade that you can eat them. Okay? So there's no alcohol, no synthetics. And that's why I use it. People will ask me, why do you use those particular oils? Why don't you go with somebody more independent, more, homemade? And I'm like, I want the full spectrum, because I'm dealing with the full spectrum.
Right.
And I trust, because I've been to the farms in Ecuador, I've been to the farms in Idaho and in Utah. I've seen what they do to combat pesticides. They don't use chemicals. They use oils. They're very strict, super strict. So I trust that. I've studied it. I went in like an investigator. I've been with them about 8 or 9 years now.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. So as far as the other components within your, let me back up. I don't want to say services or components. I just want to say your way of doing things.
I like to call it now integrationists.
Integration. To reach these, higher vibrations and higher frequencies. I want to know what are some of the other steps in addition to the raindrop technique.
Oh, okay. Well, meditation is huge. You've got to meditate. I mean, I have to meditate. I can easily clock out watching TV and thinking about nothing. There's something that's called the group mind, Eddie. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but is literally this global consciousness that we check into every day when we turn on the radio, when we plug into Facebook, we turn on the TV.
Mind?
Yeah. Well, maybe there's sections of it like this one that are outside of the group mind because we're talking about it. But think about the globe and think about the globe's aura. The earth itself is a chakra, okay?
Right.
So it has a glow, it has an aura. And within that chakra, or outside of that chakra, is veils. We call it the veil. In the indigenous culture, the Mexicas, they call it the smoking mirror, right?
Wow.
And this veil kind of keeps us within a way of group thinking. Okay? So, you've got to have the picket fence, and that's just the analogy, right? Get married,
right?
Kids, etc. Conventional.
College.
Right. So, a lot of us plug into that unknowingly. And there's other veils. The 420 veil is huge. It's global. You can easily take a hit and clock into the 420 veil. And you'll see all the other people clocked into that there when you're conscious, when you're aware, when you're awake through your meditation. So meditating, it's easy to get stuck in one of those places and sort of be floating out of your body, but it feels really good because the body's carrying all my trauma and I don't want to feel my trauma. I want to feel light and happy. Mm-hmm. That's easy to do through breath. But when you start to really intend your breath and your meditation into what we call empty space or universal love, when you kind of connect into those cosmic words, you have an opportunity to go beyond the veils or beyond the
beyond the Earth's veil.
Beyond the smoke and mirror around the globe. Right?
Smoke and mirrors. SUVs. Big houses that you shouldn't have bought.
I don't know. I love a big house. I love a big house. But how am I getting there? What am I doing? How am I manifesting it? The universe will provide. There's a woman that says, Edwin Gaines, she says, the inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand. And I love that phrase because I like
the inexhaustible
resource of spirit.
Your spirit, to be in spirit, inspired.
Yes, but in spirit itself or soul is inexhaustible. It's inexhaustible, meaning it never runs dry. It's a river constantly. So when you think about that, you're not limited by the group mind's potential of saying you have to do A, B, C to get to D. And source or spirit or soul, that one heart will say, it's all here now. You bring it forth. But how are you going to get there? How are you going to do it? And when you start tapping into that source, your purpose really shows itself. And some of us see, these things that I was chasing, they are not that important. This purpose of mine is a lot more interesting than this thing that I was chasing. And so I have this excitement about meditating. Like when I get into alignment, which I call it, and I include all my upper chakras, and that's what I would say. How does one get to a higher evolution from the very physicalness of their being, their nervous system, their bones, their atoms, all the way to the
meditation.
Through meditation, because you touch all those points, and you have to get kind of beyond the limits.
Right. I mean, so strengthening yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally leads to higher conscious.
Well, I like that you mentioned those three things, and if not, there's four. I'll share with you something that's free information. It's universal information. We've got our aura, and I'm going to be doing a workshop on this just real quick because this is the subject.
Okay.
The workshop is at Caracol Marketplace at Tropico de Nopal Gallery on Beverly, April 6th at 2 p.m. We will do this hands-on, what I'm about to describe, and it's free. So please come.
You're doing it free.
Yeah, this is free information. Like, I don't own it. This is like we're all connected to the same source, right?
Right.
That's important. Everyone wants to have you pay for, anyway. So we've got our aura, our glow, our physical glow, 6 inches out. And then outside of that is another glow. It's our emotional body. These are the 4 bodies I call it. The emotional body. And then we've got outside of that, the mental body, which is connected very deeply to the group mind. And then outside of the mental body is the spiritual body. So you can think of them like layers. We've got yellow, red, green, and purple. That's their colors, if they have any. And you asked me, how do we get that balance? How is it that you're feeling that balance? And it's like an old Native American proverb about weaving the braid between the emotion, the mind, and the soul. It's about weaving these 3 things, or 4 things, bringing them into your physical presence and understanding. Because the mind will send you a lot of tricks, and the emotions will drive you crazy.
All over the place.
Yeah. And the soul, which is the chakra of the soul, which is in some senses furthest away from us, should be closest to us, is trying to help you manage all that. But it's the quietest voice because it is peace. It is love. Love and peace are the same thing. And they are also, in my opinion, or in my meditation, the source of soul. So we've got these things, and the healing arts work is about, or the soul healing work, I'll call it, or soul retrieval work, is about sort of brushing these off, finding out where there's dents and holes and trauma and gaps and leaks of energy. And it's all very apparent when I get into that alignment in that meditation. So, like, for example, a client would have part of their soul stuck in a past life where they were beheaded. Very common.
Really?
Yeah. And so their soul, part of their soul, fragment of their soul, would be in shock in that space and time. Because really, we're all connected to space and time is the same thing.
Very real.
Right. Anyway, what we'll do through meditation is kind of navigate through those bodies to that space and time, maybe taking the emotions with us, maybe not, usually leaving them here in the present time, collecting the part of the soul, only the part that we need that has vitality. Anything that's dead energy, we want it to just float away onto the clouds or down into the earth. She'll recycle it for us. We'll get that vitality and we'll bring it back into the present day soul, which the majority is there. And it's a fragment. And it comes back, and then people say, wow, I feel like I'm myself again. Or, whoa, that was really deep. What happened? I could feel pain in my neck, and now it's gone. And there's this wholeness that takes place that is essential to evolving. Because if you're fragmented, you're leaking, right? If there's a crack in the pool.
It's like a leak in the ship.
Mm-hmm. So it's important to seal all the leaks. And it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't happen in an instant, but oftentimes it does. It just depends on your mental body. How rigid is it? How dominant is it? How open is it? How empathic are you? You know, there's a lot of factors because everybody's different. We all have our own spark that is the same, but with our own spiritual signature, if you will. Because it's just this process of mitosis, how we came to be, right? Mm-hmm. And that process of mitosis makes all of us very different, yet the same at our core. So it's about meditating from the core out rather than from the outside, trying to get that goodness in. Because we all have it inside, but what we've got to do is remove the cobwebs. It's kind of like feng shui for the body. When you
That's a good way of talking.
Yeah, you are rearranging your energy inside in order to glow brighter.
You know, so it's like, you know, you're doing your house feng shui, all the rooms, you're like, okay, painting on this wall, the east, bed faces that way, water here,
get the clutter out, right?
Yeah, you know, plants, green, living plants here, right. You know, and that's what you're doing inside. But to do that properly takes a lot of mental power and discipline to reach that accomplishment.
It takes intention and breath. Honestly, you don't have to have power. You just have to have that intention and that breath. There is every breath unintended is wasted in a sense. If that makes sense.
It does.
That makes sense. Good one.
Every breath unintended is wasted.
I'll quote that one. Post that on Twitter.
You know, yeah, I mean, I just think that there's not even, you know, enough hours in the day to go on about this topic. And
it's infinite.
It's infinite, truly. Tell me about providing guidance over the phone.
That's the soul healing work. I only do that over the phone because it's important for the client to have their own space, because as their aura changes and cleanses, it affects the space around them. And if we're doing that in my studio, it doesn't stick so much at home, right? Sure. We want it to stick because change is constant. So I always do that over the phone. It gives me a buffer so I don't pick up anything that they're discarding. At the same time, it's a more lasting effect. I don't necessarily want to have repeat clients over and over again. But the main thing that I do during that is I walk clients through every single step so that they can do it on their own. Because this is, I think, an important tool for humans to have an alignment before or during prayer. or meditation or intention, whatever you want to call it. If you're scattered and you're trying to get your prayer up, to your source, it's going to take the long way because you're scattered. But if you're streamlined and you're in that flow, it's going to get there a lot quicker, and the response will be a lot quicker. So it's better for instant manifestation. And I'm not. I love to do that work because it puts me where I need to be. Right? I'm not trying to say that I got this all figured out, but this stuff comes to me very clearly.
Sure.
When I get into this work, I've got that energy where air is dominant in my chart, and so my mental facility is pretty clear, for the most part. Like I said, I've been through my share of drama, but I'm more interested in peace. So yeah, that's this work that I do over the phone, and it's really simple, but I've got 2 children, so I can't do it at the drop of a dime. I'm always scheduling that at least a week in advance.
Sure.
And that's the soul healing, the cranial sacral therapy, and then the oils therapy. And I often recommend oils to people so that they can do regular meditation through and with the inhalation of the oils and the intention, and to heal their aches and pains and to help with symptoms. And I make sprays to clear spaces because, we were discussing this earlier. Los Angeles is thick. I've lived downtown since 98, and I remember when downtown was empty. But you would walk through downtown.
And you would feel the energy there.
You would feel the sentient beings, or what we call entities. There are infinite entities, as many humans as there are. That's how many entities there are. And Los Angeles is like the same way it is for living beings. It's a magnet for dead beings who haven't crossed over. So you can feel that energy during those times when it was empty. The streets were empty.
Right. Even late at night when it's very quiet, you could feel presence all over the place.
Right.
Especially in downtown in Hollywood. Like, it's just really abundant.
Right. And some of them are really helpful guys, and a lot of them are just lost. Like, people come here lost. They don't feel themselves in the middle of the country. But it has nothing to do with where they are. It has to do with where they're connecting to. So they'll come to LA for a career, or for, to meet their destiny, to live the dream, California dreaming, and I love California. I could see why everybody wants to come here. Like, I have that in my heart. But at the same time, it's like, it's not necessarily the answer. You can come here, you can feel happy at Disneyland, but if you're not connecting to your source, there's
no intent.
You're not going to get into the stream. You're not going to really fulfill your purpose. Some people come here, fulfill their purpose 100%, and kudos to them. I think they had that before they came here.
They were already connected.
Yeah.
Right.
But everyone's different. I shouldn't generalize. But it feels good to be aware, walking through LA, knowing there's entities around me, but they're not infecting me. Because that's literally what they do. I've pulled them out of spines. I've pulled them out of hearts. I've pulled them out of livers. You will find entities in every part of the body if a person is open enough to let them stay there. And that is very common. It's very woo-woo, but it's very common. So soul healing is about extracting all of those other voices first before we can really cleanse the bodies. And that's part of it. It's all part of it. Extracting not only energy from passed on beings, but alive beings on the other side of the planet who are like sucking your energy for whatever reason. You met them one day and it never ended.
Sure.
So I've seen it. I've seen a lot of things, and I've a long way to go. A lot that I've never seen before come across a body.
Let's talk about vibes.
Vibes.
Yeah.
Yes,
this is something
happy. Good
I mean, this is something I call it a pop-up because that's what it does. It pops up at different locations throughout the East Side.
It has.
And there's many, and it's your brainchild. You've created this platform.
Well, it's Joy Alegria. Joy, her brainchild, and her and I collaborated on it. Her working with her, vibes popped into her brain first. I have to say that. She's the founder of Alegría Chocolate, and she's a curator, and she's an amazing woman. And her and I collaborated for the Vibes at ES Studios, and we've since got a place in Boyle Heights, of course, on Olympic at the Spa Gallery, and it's Vibe Studio within the Spa Gallery, and it's really a place where people can come and get high-frequency dosage, if you will, through chocolate, cacao, raw cacao, vegan snacks, drinks with essential oils in them, or structured water, sacred geometry, hydrogen-rich water, through an oil anointing technique that I do. So these are all ways to immediately change your vibration, clear out any dead energy, and feel good inside. And we love things that feel good. Like, we all for that. Let them be non-poisonous, please.
Right. Now let's talk about the intake of you or I taking in something physically, like chocolate or sacred geometry water, and to boost our frequency. In addition to the components like the raindrop technique, the meditation, everything we're discussing that you provide, those are ways to get to a higher conscious. But taking things in, like the water and the chocolate, that's what, like supplemental?
Yeah, in a way. It's also combative. So we want to balance out some of the poison that's already in. And like, for example, the water. If you have alcohol in your system, the hydrogen-rich structured water will convert it to water. It'll help your body create more water, and it actually sobers you up. I'm still testing this, but this is what we found. And the cacao, antioxidants. And what is an antioxidant? It's pro-life, really, in a way. It means that the free radicals that come from the pollution in LA are being canceled out through an antioxidant.
Right.
And when you deliver that with an essential oil, it goes much further in the body because the oil's life energy, and it like kind of bursts out into all the cells. And there's amazing YouTube videos of how Valor oil will change the way blood cells look under a microscope within 20 minutes of applying it to the feet. Like, you could see icky, sticky, gross cells turn into vibrant, happy bubbles.
Wow.
Within 20 minutes of applying Valor. And that's what you physically feel when you get that dosage. So it may not last longer than 2 hours, but your body's starting to gently acclimate itself to that higher frequency, that more life energy.
I'm not sure the facts of this, what I'm about to say, but I've noticed, through a common sense factor that I've been passionate about eating healthy lately. And when I eat lots of live food, fruits and vegetables, I feel alive. Mm-hmm. It's a direct translation. Mm-hmm. You get you're more energetic. You're not getting sick. Mm-hmm. You just feel great. The clarity is amazing, and you're in a good mood. Mm-hmm. And when you eat dead food, like meat,
you feel a little dead.
Well, it's death. You're eating death. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like fruits and vegetables. Is there a way to measure their frequency? When they're really fresh.
Yeah, and they have a frequency which gives them an A plus in my book. It's not as high as oils or tuning forks, but putting life into your body versus death is one way of definitely evolving your consciousness.
Like today, now.
Yeah, and I love it when people report back and say, I can't even eat that burger anymore. Mm-hmm. I tried to, and my body just rejected it. Like, my uncle's a great example. He's been using the NutriBullet for the past 6 months. He's lost like 50 pounds.
Great.
And he can't even touch the old food. Like, he said the pastrami sandwiches he used to do all the time.
Not into it.
He can't do it. He tries. He just can't. And he's looking really good, a lot more physical. And this is a man in his, 50s, I guess. So that's factual.
It could all start there, what I'm saying today for people.
What you're putting in. Yeah. Absolutely. What is it that you're putting in your body? It's either going to make you feel great, or if it's going to put you back into a downspin, basically. And at this day and age, I think we feel everything a little more.
Yeah.
Especially with the consciousness, mental understanding around it because of all the social media. We're getting a lot of education. So like the mind-body connection is happening. And it's bypassing that emotional body that would otherwise say, eat that donut, you know?
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
What are your thoughts on, I want to go off here a bit, on public transportation in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
You taking it a little bit?
Yes.
The Red Line, right?
I've taken the Red Line. I've taken the Gold Line. I did the bus to Santa Monica. I always use LA Flyaway if I go to LAX.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Convenient.
Yes. I love that one. I've gotten frustrated at times with bus schedules, not always accurate, but at the same time, there is a lot of ability to relax when you're on the bus because you don't have to, press the gas pedal. My issue was like I'm getting all this hip pain from pressing the gas pedal all the time, and I felt that disappear through taking the bus when I did make the commute to Santa Monica. But it would be great if we had the rail in a lot more places, and I know they're expanding it out to the suburbs more, right? The foothills.
Sure.
And I think that's really great. I mean, awesome. I think that if you can spend an extra 15 minutes a day meditating and breathing, no matter where you are, even if you're in a crowded bus, it benefits your body and your soul. And I really feel sympathetic and for the people who have a commute constantly. I've been there and
consistently every day,
every single day, 2 hours both ways or whatever it is. It's a real ticker.
So let's talk about the next Vibes event.
Okay, April 19th at the Spot Gallery. It's the opening for the Spot Gallery. We've got amazing artists like Ernesto Llerena, Rafa Cárdenas, and Jaime Guerrero who have their artwork displayed. And it's just like a housewarming sort of thing. The Vibes studio itself within the Spot Gallery will be open. So it's our Vibes event. It's an open studios gallery event. And so we're going to be, Joy and I will be offering cacao and oils, essentially.
Those will be for sale.
They will. They'll be there for sale, and they'll be also in some, we're going to be giving away some too. And then there's going to be the artwork. I'll have some poetry framed. There's going to be the artwork of all the other artists framed and for sale as well. So it's a mixed event, but it is our next Vibes event. And then we're going to do another one in June, and we're going to take over the entire gallery. So we really encourage people who have never tried going out and not having a glass of or a shot to come and try having a glass or shot of something that raises their vibration.
Right.
And we got a lot of great feedback when people said, I love this event because I feel so good walking in here. And I feel like it was really great to mix and mingle with people and not have to worry about that element that can be a little bit crazy. So it's April 19th, 3613 East Olympic. And you can find the event, brand new page for it on Facebook. And just look Vibe Studio and you'll find it. And we're really excited about doing these every few months from now on. And pop-ups too also. We'll see how that works with different collaborators.
And people could get their car free by taking MTA line 62.
Okay.
So that's great.
62.
Both directions, yeah.
All right.
Give your website.
It's opbconsulting.com. And I'm on Twitter at OPB Oracle. And Facebook, you'll find OPB Consulting as well. And just...
Is there an email address to book appointments?
opbconsulting@gmail.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm the only OPB consultant on the internet.
I'm down with OPB.
Yeah, you know me.
Well, Olivia, thank you for being a part of Los Angeles Nista episode 127.
So much for having me, Eddie. That's so awesome.
This is great. Thank you so much.
Be well.